24 hours apart. Two legends, both on their knees on a World Cup pitch, both in tears. One crying because it was over, one crying because it almost was. That gap, that single difference, tells you everything about where each man stands right now. Monday night, Dallas. Spain 1-0 up, 91st minute. Ronaldo walking the perimeter of the pitch applauding fans who were applauding him back. Tears on his face. 6 World Cups. Done. Tuesday night, Atlanta. Messi flat on the turf, face buried, teammates piling on top of him. Tears on his face too. Still alive, still hunting, still the defending champion. Same tournament, same tears. Completely different reasons. Ronaldo's press conference quote landed within an hour of the final whistle, and it's the most revealing thing he's said in years. The 2016 Euros, for me, that has the same magnitude as a World Cup. Honestly, he said it twice. He needed people to believe it, and the tears still wet on his face while he said it told a different story entirely. That is not the statement of a man at peace. That is the statement of a man trying to be at peace. There is a difference. 6 World Cups, never a final, never a winner's medal. And his response is to tell the world the trophy he never won doesn't matter as much as he spent 20 years chasing it. Messi's press conference quote landed differently, completely differently. I cried because I felt I let my teammates down because of the penalty I missed. But thankfully, God had something special for me in the end. That is not a man reframing anything. That is a man who missed a penalty, went 2-0 down, dragged his team back from the dead, scored the equalizer, set up the first goal, and then collapsed in tears on the grass. Not because he won, but because he almost let his teammates down. The weight of that is different. The guilt of almost failing versus the grief of actually finishing. Two entirely different emotional universes. Lautaro Martinez said it on the pitch straight after the final whistle. I told him to enjoy it because he deserves it. We gave everything for ourselves, but more for him, because it's his last World Cup and he's given us so much. His teammates play for him, not with him, for him. That detail matters more than any statistic. Ronaldo's teammates respect him. Nobody disputes that. But the Portugal camp after the Spain defeat felt like the end of an obligation. Roberto Martinez said Ronaldo was an exemplary captain and an icon. Those are the words of a eulogy, not a dressing room. Messi's Argentina wept with him. Scaloni said, and the Argentina coach was crying himself when he said this, I don't know if the emotion is on the same level as the World Cup final. I can't be in Messi's head, but he plays football for moments like this. His own coach couldn't measure his emotion because it was that big. Subscribe now. This tournament is producing moments that won't make sense until years later, and you don't want to be catching up. Two men, same age bracket, both playing their last World Cup. But the footballing lives they're living inside this tournament could not be more different. Ronaldo managed 19 touches against Spain. 19. In a match his country needed him to win. The greatest goal scorer in international football history touched the ball 19 times and did nothing with any of them. One shot. Saved. Nothing else threatened. Messi, 24 hours later, missed a penalty, watched his team go 2-0 down, then assisted the first goal, scored the second, and created the conditions for the third in stoppage time. In the biggest moment of the tournament so far for his country, he was everywhere. That is not coincidence. That is the difference between a player who needs the perfect system around him to perform and a player who becomes the system when the pressure is highest. Ronaldo has always required service, space, and confidence to function. Remove any one of those, and you get Dallas on Monday night. Messi shrinks the game to himself when it matters most. 2-0 down with 11 minutes left, Argentina needed one man to make something happen. He made 3 things happen. The statistics need saying once. Ronaldo leaves this World Cup with 11 career goals across 6 tournaments, a record. He scored in every single one, the only man in history to do that. The hat trick against Spain in 2018, real, historic, undeniable. Nobody takes that away. But Messi leaves Tuesday night with 8 goals in 5 matches at this single tournament. He leads the Golden Boot race. He has scored in 6 consecutive knockout matches, the only player in history to do that. He has 30 World Cup appearances, more than any man alive. And he is still going. Ronaldo finished. Messi is not finished. That asymmetry is not small. That is the entire story of the last 20 years told in 2 final images. One man walking off a pitch for the last time. One man collapsing on a pitch because he gets to stay. Ronaldo said afterwards, and this is the quote that will follow him, "Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Tomorrow will be a new day and life goes on." Calm, controlled, everything Cristiano Ronaldo has always presented to the world. And yet the hand shielding his eyes from the cameras, the slight shake in his voice at the mixed zone, the fact that he said the 2016 Euros was the same magnitude as a World Cup twice in the same answer. That is a man processing something enormous in real time. Messi said, and this lands completely differently. This group never gives up. We turned it around in the 90s. It's crazy what this group has achieved. He didn't talk about himself. He talked about the group. The man with 8 goals in 5 games, who just produced one of the greatest individual World Cup performances of the last decade, used his press conference to credit everyone else. That gap in instinct between protecting your own legacy and projecting it onto teammates might be the single most revealing difference between these 2 men across their entire careers. One more thing. Lamine Yamal, 17 years old, the teenager who tormented Portugal on Monday, and who wasn't even born when Ronaldo played his first World Cup, embraced Ronaldo at full time in a moment that felt like a generational handover. Ronaldo left that embrace and walked off the pitch for the last time. Messi, 24 hours later, was embraced by his entire squad, his coaching staff, a stadium full of Argentine supporters chanting his name. One exit felt like a closing ceremony. The other felt like a fuel stop. Subscribe. The quarterfinals is about to start, and Messi faces Switzerland on Saturday. This story is nowhere near finished. Both cried. Both deserved to. But only one of them cried, knowing there was still more to fight for. And that single detail, more than the goals, more than the records, more than 20 years of debate, is the difference between these 2 men right now. One cried because it was over. One cried because it almost was. You already know which one is which.